Hello and welcome to Spirit Forest. This is the video you have been waiting for. Yes, we are going to finally talk about the design of my cabin. Now this is going to be kind of a series of videos because I want to go into some detail of how I designed my cabin and why I designed it, and eventually what I learned from it and some mistakes that I've made that I already know so far, and the cabin hasn't been built yet. What I would like to go over in this video is how I found my architect, the conversation that I had with them, and what I gave them back in my first meeting with them. Okay, let's get a little bit more casual. Because I don't like formal videos. I'm just bringing you a little bit closer. So that feels like I'm really talking with you regarding this. Now, I want you to keep in mind as I do these videos towards the design of my cabin that these are things that I want. These are things that I feel that it's part of my dream in building the cabin. And I want you to keep that in mind because I can already see the comments that I'm gonna get, that I should be doing this and I should have done this and I shouldn't design it like that and I should have done this. This is my cabin. So this is what I want it to be. When you design your own cabin, what I want to let you know is design it to be you, because that's what I'm doing for me. I'm designing the cabin so it is my cabin. And I don't want it to be like every other cabin out there. So I want it to be unique to me, and that is the reason why I decided to go with a custom home. Okay, let's talk about the area a little bit of where I'm at. Now, I'm not going to give away my exact address. I'm not going to give away my county. You know, I've had people randomly come to visit me, fans from YouTube, and I don't like that. So if I seem a little vague every once in a while, that is the reason why. But I will let you know that I am in the beautiful Colorado mountains, and my property is that what I'll be building on is 2 acres, and I am going to stick my house basically in the middle of those 2 acres. I do not have any mountain views that I know of. Depends on the height of the house. Around my area, there's plenty of places, plenty of land that you can purchase that has these beautiful mountain views. My house is going to be nestled into the forest, and I want it that way. Yeah, there's a part of me who wants to walk out and see this beautiful mountain range, but another part of me is like, I kind of like the privacy of and the intimacy of just being in the forest. And so my cabin is going to be nestled in this forest. If you're not familiar with Colorado, well, at least the county that I'm going to be building in, we do have a lot of laws. We don't have as many as other counties do, but we do have a lot of laws. And I have to abide by those laws when I am building my cabin. I cannot do like other channels do. I get asked this all the time, is why don't I follow what this person did on this channel or this person did on that channel? Well, they're not dealing with what I have to deal with. I have to deal with permits, and I gotta have people that are licensed. If they're not licensed, you gotta go in and take a test. You know, there's a lot of things. I can't just go out there and take the wood off my land and build a log home and say, there you go, that's it. That's actually against the law for me. And if I do that, I will be fined. So I will not be doing that. In case you are wondering, I am gonna build my cabin in a legal way. So I will have to get professionals to come out to do certain tasks. For example, would be a well, a septic, a leach field. I had to get an engineer out there for the leach field, and they had to do all their testing and so forth too. So these are things that I can't do on my own. I'm just letting you guys know this because I know I'm going to get comments about it, because I always do. I always do. So just note that I have to abide by the rules. And part of the rules was getting an architect. Now, you know, I could draw out. I'm a graphic designer. That's what I do for a living, and I'm in my office, and you see I have multiple computers here, and I'm a graphic designer, and I can draw out what I want in the cabin, but I'm not very sure exactly all the measurements, you know, like how do I know that this area is this big and this will fit a dishwasher and this is gonna fit, you know, a refrigerator, and you know what I mean? Yeah, I could do a lot of research on it and figure it out on my own, but the problem is time. Where I am at right now, I spend about 9 hours a day sitting in this chair working. And then on the weekends, I'm free. And that's when I film for YouTube. And I am out there and I am enjoying being outside. And the last thing I want to do is sit here at a computer again. Just telling you, this is the reason why I go to Spirit Forest. I just want to get away from the computers and I want to be outside. So I made the decision to hire an architect. Now, I did do some rough designs, and I'm going to show you here soon. I did some rough designs and gave it to her to let her know this is how I want my cabin to look. And we're going to talk about that conversation. But first I want to talk about how I chose my architect and why I chose the architect that I chose. So what is that saying? The chicken before the egg before the chicken, or the chicken before the egg? So I was wondering, like, do I find my builder first and then I find my architect, or is the builder the architect? Or like, I was kind of confused a bit. Now, I am brand new to this, so if you're watching this, you're gonna learn, and I can be a little wordy, so just bear with me. I'm also recording this so that I remember these times as well, and I want to make sure that you have all the detail that you need to know and understand why I made these decisions that I made, so in case you have any questions. So the first thing I did was, well, maybe I should find a builder. Maybe that might be good. So what I did is I called a builder and said, hey, I'm looking to build a cabin on my property. I'm looking to see how much does it cost, you know. And the first response he gives me, well, why don't you send me the plans and I'll look at it. I'm like, well, I don't have any plans. I have I have a little sketchbook with literally, like, I used a pencil. I didn't even use my computer at that time. And I like, should I take a picture of that and just send it to him? No, I'm telling you right now, they don't want that. So I talked to, and I mentioned this before in another video, I think I talked to 3 builders is what I did. So the first builder, he was kind of like, he's like, oh, we'll grab a beer and a burger and we'll build a cabin together. You know what I mean? And I was like, well, the architect, and he's like, you got to go through this guy. He's local to this area. He's really good. And I'm like, okay. I talked to another builder, and again, I'm just talking about the design of everything. I talked to another builder and I said, what do you do about the design and stuff? And he's like, oh, you just use our people in-house. And I got their fee was like really big. And then I decided, well, where else do you find an architect? So then I went out and looked online for an architect and just found one off Google that had a lot of reviews on it. And I called them. And then, I know, I trust me, I do my research. I do. So then there's an app that everybody uses in the area. It's kind of like a Facebook group, you know, and I said, hey, I'm looking for a builder, or architect. Can anybody recommend an architect for me? And then I go on to see other people have posted the same thing, because a lot of people are building out there and a lot of people post the same thing. So then I got another name. The first architect that I talked to was saying that he would take my designs and then he would design it. So it has all the measurements on it and stuff like that. And then he says, I have 2 revisions to it. And after 2 revisions, it's basically like starting over again. So I was like, oh, okay. So I really need to nail down what I want. And he's like, well, yeah, I need to know how big do you want your living room and how big you want your kitchen. And so it seemed to me that it was going to get really pricey if I go to him, because what if I change my mind and want my house 1 foot bigger? You know, then I'd start all over again. And most of them charge per square foot is how they were charging. So then I went to, I didn't go to the one that was in-house. I did talk to somebody that I just found on Google, and they were about the same. They would do 3 revisions, and again, the square footage price seemed really high. And he really had a lot of rules towards any changes to it. So I don't know, I was kind of like, so then the last architect that I talked to, and she was, and this is the one I chose, she was bubbly and happy. She's the one that I found through the community that people used her. However, she lives in the city. Now, she was looking to retire. So I messaged her by an email and being like, hey, I'm looking to build a cabin. Should be pretty simple. I already know my layout. I just need some help with some exterior of it and helping me with the measurement. And she's like, and I gave her some ideas of, you know, her and I just had a conversation. I kind of put in the word like Scandinavian and Viking and stuff like that, because that's just, if you watch my channel, we'll talk about that. And so she got really excited when talking to me, because she was like, she wasn't going to do any more designs. She was literally done. And she says, you know, I'm looking to retire. I think this is going to be the last cabin that I design. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, I didn't hire her right on the spot. I sat and I thought about it, but she was very open to changes. She says, but she's going to give me a design that is just hand-drawn design. She'll take my design, what I did, and then she won't put measurements on it. She'll just kind of, you know, just get out a ruler and start designing. She's a little bit more old school, which I like that, you know. So she'll start designing it just with a pencil and pen and stuff, and come over here. She'll come over to my house and she'll meet with me. And I thought that was really nice too. She wanted to make sure my kids were involved. And I basically have unlimited changes to this design. To a certain point though. It was only to a certain point, which makes sense. You know, we want to make sure that we have the design that we want, and then we would start making little tweaks. So she has certain phases that she goes through, and how she bills me is, well, phase 1 is this bill, phase 2 is this bill, and phase 3 is that bill. Now, she was the least expensive out of all of them. But that is not the reason why I chose her. I chose her because she was so friendly and so nice, and I could just tell that she was going to be very easy for me to work with. And so that is why I chose her. Okay, we're switching positions. And the reason why is because I'm going to have to get on my computer here soon, because I'm going to show you what I ended up giving her. Now, keep in mind, if you're looking to do this and you're looking to talk to your architect, I'm a designer. You know, so like I already have a design in mind. Now, I've never designed a building. I've designed websites, you know, and brochures and logos and stuff like that. That's what I do. That's my specialty. So I wanted to give her something, because she gave me an email that was like, give me some ideas of what you want, what you're thinking of. She asked me like 3 or 4 questions, just simple questions like, you know, do you like a pitch roof? What kind of roof do you want? What kind of material do you want? Just really high level kind of questions, you know. And so I told her, I said, give me a week and I'm going to come up with something for you to give you. And you can take that and go with it. So I'm going to show you what it is that I gave her, but you're not going to see me. You're going to end up seeing my screen. So I'm going to take you into my computer. Okay, now you're in my computer, and you'll see that I always like to just add a little extra. I'm an overachiever. You guys should all know that by now. I really am. So I'm a designer, and I wanted to give another designer a feeling of myself. So when she were to open this document, she can really like reach out and touch me. Now, I didn't We've never met in person. We only talked on the phone, and that's why I wanted to incorporate some pictures of myself and my kids in there as well. So I have a picture of my tent because I wanted to let her know that my tent's a big deal. I mean, that's the reason why I decided to start the cabin. Is I started with this tent and was like, I absolutely love being there. I want to be there more. How can I be there more? And to be there more, again, regarding the laws in Colorado, I do have to build a building on the property. And so that's kind of what started this whole journey, was this tent. It was kind of like a trial to see if I'd actually go up there a lot and stuff. And believe it or not, I do. I go up there like 60 or camp up there 60 to 78 days a year, and that's just on my property. I also included some pictures of myself again and the girls so that she can know who she was talking with. It kind of shows a little bit of our personality in the photo. You know, I added some little things of some spruce there as well because it is very foresty. The cabin's very foresty. And then I added this cool quote that is, look deep into nature, then you will understand everything. And I just love that quote. And I don't know who wrote it, but it's a beautiful quote. And then I thought really deep, what did home mean to me? Because this is truly what I'm building, is I'm building a home. And home is a reflection of self. Gathering for friends and family, bringing comfort to the soul. It creates memories. It's a feeling of safety, nurtured, and loved. And then I signed my name, Tammy, on it. You know, that to me, I wanted her to see that at first, so she had the idea, again, who I was, what I was trying to do. I am building a home. I am not just building a square box to stay in. This is gonna be a home for me. Now, in my effort to try to get her to know me a little bit more, I want her to know my lifestyle so that she understands what she's designing for. I have a lot of gear and I have a lot of future plans for myself and my kids and my family at this cabin. And I want to make sure that as she's designing it, she's thinking about these things. So I did a little bit about who we are, what we do, and I talked, and I'm not going to read this to you guys word by word, but basically I just kind of talked about that I like to kayak and backpack and rock climb and hike and snowshoe, and you know, she gets the idea. She called me a female version of Bear Grylls. Now, I don't think I deserve that kind of label, but I thought that was really cute. And then I wanted to talk a bit about my home needs. Now, this was really important for her to know, and my home needs of the cabin. So I was talking about like maybe a 1-bedroom cabin is what I was looking for, somewhere around 1,100 square feet. So it was a 1-bedroom cabin with a loft. So my kids had somewhere they can escape to up in the loft. And then I was talking a bit about how I want this to be my sanctuary and how I'm trying to really just get out of the city, and I just want to be immersed into nature. I talk about how I teach wilderness classes and how sometimes I'll have up to 12 people there possibly. So I need a space in this cabin where 12 people could stand. I also talk about how many people would sleep at night. For example, I think I might end up having like 8 people over to sleep at some point. Now, I'm a realist. I realize that my kids, when they go off to college, they probably won't come to mom's cabin unless like there's something fun going on, you know. And my friends, they might come, you know, but I say I just don't want it to limit me to how many people could sleep there. I don't want to tell someone, no, I'm sorry, you can't come up. There's nowhere for you to sleep. Now, take into consideration, like, I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep on the floor, wherever. And I expect the same from other people too. So, as long as I can fit like 8 bodies sleeping in this cabin, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty happy about it, you know, whether it's bunk beds, pull-out couches, whatever it may be. So I just want her to keep in mind that kind of stuff when it comes to, you know, designing possibly the living room area. I talk a bit about the winter up there. You guys don't know, but it has gotten down to -21 over at Spirit Forest that is really cold. So I do talk a lot about that, and I tell her that I said I don't want any of my pipes to be on an exterior wall. I want all of my water lines to be on an interior wall. So that was really important, exclamation point, and I made it very clear to her that's what I wanted. I talk about heating the home. At first I was like, I do want a fireplace. As you know, I have a ton of wood out there. I do want a fireplace there, but I was thinking electric heating. Now I've changed a bit since then, so if you're thinking of making a comment on that, don't worry about it. I am gonna have gas in there. But when she designed the house, it was for electric baseboard heaters. I was looking for something that was really cheap to install, that was that I could just turn on per room, and that's what I was looking for. I've changed my mind since then, but she did design the cabin based on baseboard heaters, which you'll find out later that was a mistake of mine. I talked to her about my gear. As you know, I love all my outdoor activities. I kayak and backpack and all that stuff that I was talking about earlier. And I need to have my gear readily available. I don't want to have to climb a bunch of steps all the way up into the house carrying all my backpacking gear back and forth. A lot of cabins that you see here in Colorado, they have a garage underneath, and then the house is above the garage. I did not want that, because I didn't want to climb on those stairs. Also, I want to make my house accessible. So in case I were to ever want to rent out the house, I want to be able to rent out the house to those that are in a wheelchair. That is something that I talk about a lot on my channel. We'll talk about another time. Okay. I talk also about natural light. I want a lot of natural light. I want to be in my cabin, but feel like I am outside. Does that make sense? Like, it just, like you're inside, but yet you feel like you're outside. That's what I want. That's the feeling that I want. This is my retirement home. So in case I am sick, or I can't be outside, or whatever it may be, I want to be able to be in my cabin and feel like I am outside. What does that mean? That means a lot of windows. I want a lot of windows. I want to be able to look outside. I want areas in the house where I feel like I'm surrounded by windows. That's what I want. If I could just build a glass cabin, I would. I really would. I also talk about the kitchen. Now, there's nowhere to eat really in this area unless you're gonna have to drive an hour if you want to eat. And so I'm gonna be cooking a lot in this kitchen. Now, maybe you'll learn from future videos that kitchens are really important to me. I love to cook. I really do. And I know I don't cook a lot on my channel for camping and stuff, but at home I just love to cook. It's like a piece of art. And so I really want a focal point of my living space to be the kitchen. That is the gathering spot where people hang out. I feel it was important for her to understand the land, because she wanted to come out and visit. When I was talking to her, it was winter and it was a lot of snow on the ground, and she couldn't get out there. So I wanted to show her some pictures of the land so she kind of had a feel to what the land kind of was like. You know, like if I talk about how my land goes down and comes right back up, you know what I mean? There's a slope on my property. I wanted to kind of, she ended up coming out there and seeing it, but I just wanted to kind of show it in some of the pictures that I give her. Now, just for privacy purposes, here you'll see green, red, and blue. That was actually a picture of an aerial view of my property. The green is where the house is mostly going to be. The red is my first property, and the blue is the property that I wanted to purchase that was right next to it. So each one of those is about an acre each. At this time I was talking to her, I had the red and the green acre, and was telling her that I was wanting to purchase the blue. So basically that, and I was giving her address and stuff, so I kind of hid some stuff on this just for privacy purposes for me. I also again did some pictures. I talked about the little trails that I have throughout my property, the beautiful aspens and spruces on there. and talk to her about how I like to possibly do solar in the future, if that was going to be possible, but I won't probably do it at the beginning. Okay, now we're going to talk about the exterior ideas. Now, again, these are my ideas. These came from me. These are things that I like, you know. I like these kind of things. And the reason why I'm saying it that way is that I think I'm going to get opinions that you should be doing it this way or you should be doing it that way. This is the way that I want to do it. This is the way that I want it to look. Just letting you know that when you build your own cabin, you design it whichever way you want. I won't say a thing. You know, because I understand, like, anytime you have an idea, or even it's a design of anything, someone has an opinion about it, it might not be what you're looking to do, but that's okay. This is what I'm looking to do. Okay, enough of that. I need to be quiet. Okay, I love the look of stone and wood on a cabin. I want a lot of windows, and I love how it's like the wainscot, I think it's what you call it. It's like the lower half of the cabin would be all stone, and then the upper half would look like wood, like a rustic kind of wood. There's some things that I've changed on that because of pricing, but that's what I gave her when I first designed the cabin. Now, some of these you'll see they have a lot of windows. You can look in or look out, again, making it feel like you're outside when you're inside. And you'll see down here, this one really called to me. I don't know what it was about this one little, it looked almost like a cottage. It's so cute. It really called to me. Now, to build this, pretty much this exact cabin right here that you're looking at, would cost about $1 million in Colorado. You gotta remember where I'm at. So, like, I'm not gonna tell you the price that I'm spending on my cabin, but I am gonna start giving you prices here and there, like this costs this much, this costs that much, but I'm not gonna end up giving you a total price of the cabin. But note that it costs a lot to build in Colorado, especially when there's only a couple contractors out there available. Yes, I have a whole section just on the windows of the cabin because that's how important it is for me to have windows and to be able to look outside. Now, I totally understand the more windows I have, the harder it is to keep my inside warm. I'm fully aware of that, but to me, I don't want to just be in a box with a tiny windows. I want to be able to feel like I'm outside, and to do that, I'm going to have a lot of windows. And I try to limit as many windows as I can on the north side of the house. So you'll see here, again, showing a lot of windows. Some of these are modular homes, and I actually priced those out to be able to be shipped to Spirit Forest because I felt that they would have worked. But they ended up costing just as much as if I had somebody build. In fact, some of them cost even more. I can get more for my money if I hired somebody who was local than hire somebody that was out in Washington. I think some of these came from Washington, and then they shipped it over. I did try to contact some ones here in Colorado to see if they could build these for me as well. It ended up being really complicated, and I just decided that I was just going to go with a custom home builder and just hire local contractors. So you know that I'm kind of unique, kind of different, like everybody else. And I told her I wanted this cabin to be unique. I did not want a cookie cutter cabin. I wanted this to be me. And I told her about how I've been researching my heritage, as I am basically half Norwegian, half Sweden, with a little mix of other things in there too. Did a video on that. If you want to see it, go research my videos. So, and I have a little Viking flair to my channel sometimes too. So I said I want to have a little bit of a Viking Scandinavian flair to my cabin as well. So, but I did tell her, and I gave her some photos. Let me go over this first. I gave her some photos that I felt were good and cute and Scandinavian-like to me. And I do plan on painting and stuff on my cabin. At some point I will be painting some things. I do like these little dragon heads that's on this one that looks like it's like a Viking church or something like that. I like how the roof extends out in an angle. That's another thing I liked. I like the crosses that are above the I want to call them cabins, but these were actually, this is more in the Viking age, so they're houses. You know, these little cross at the top, very similar to my Viking tent that I've done. And of course, I sent her a picture of me in my Viking outfit, you know. I would say she probably looked at that and laughed, but she said that's the reason why she took the job, was because I was different and it wasn't just the same old house that she was designing, not the same kind of house that she designs for other people, you know. She's like, this is gonna be a different cabin. And I'm like, yes, yes! And so it gets me all excited because, you know, she gets all pumped up too. But I did want to let you know that there is gonna be a uniqueness to this cabin too. But, a big but, my backup plan in case things go sour in my life, something happens, I have to sell this cabin. I have to make it so that it's not too much of a Viking flair, and whatever I add to it can be removed. Now, it will still probably have a Scandinavian look kind of a thing, but it won't be purely a Viking house because I will need to sell it if I have to. Are you ready? Because now I'm going to show you the design that I gave her. I know this is a long video, but bear with me here. So I gave her a design, and the design I gave her was really plain because I'm not an architect, but I was thinking of straight line roofs with some windows at the top, windows on the back, and a porch, some sort of porch, some more, again, you'll see a lot of windows everywhere. And that was kind of like what my thought was. And I was figuring that she was just going to laugh at me when she saw my design. But I just kind of came up with one so that she knew. And I also told her to, I said, when it comes to the exterior, that's where I'm really lost on. I don't know what things cost. I told her, I said, I don't know if it's cheaper if I do this kind of roof or that kind of roof, or if I do this kind of thing or that kind of thing. Which one's less expensive is what I was looking for. So I try to create it as simple as possible, very similar to those modular homes that I was looking for. So that's kind of the look that I was thinking of. But then she asked me later, she says, what is the design out of all the pictures you gave me? What is the design that you truly like the best? And so I gave her this design, and I said, out of all the images that I've given you in regards to the exterior of the house, this is the one that calls to me the most. And I showed that to you earlier. Okay, last one. This is it. We're getting close. We're getting close. Interior ideas. Now, she didn't really ask for the interior stuff. I just wanted to give her the interior because, like, I already knew kind of what I wanted for the layout. Like, I knew that already. Like, that I could do. I knew that I didn't want to walk directly into a living room from the front door when it's negative 20 degrees outside. I knew I wanted to have some sort of like a hallway to go through, so not a gush of air comes in the living room area. So I gave her this floor plan. I wanted a large front door. I wanted a hallway that you walk down. And then I wanted a barn door, so you walk down, and this is a 1-bedroom cabin is what I'm designing. And I said I wanted to fit a king bed, but most likely I'll have a queen bed there. But in case I need to sell it and somebody has to have a king bed in their house, that room can at least fit a king bed. I will have a bathroom, and inside the bathroom will be the washer and dryer and the water heater and closet and storage and all that kind of stuff. Just a short little shower, no bathtub or anything like that. In the living room area, I'll just have a couple couches and a chair. I will have a wood stove. And in the kitchen, you know, all the regular kitchen stuff. I say dishwasher because some people are like, you don't need a dishwasher. Well, I need a dishwasher. And then I want a breakfast bar because I don't plan on having a dining room table in this cabin. I'd rather just have more open space and not have a table. And so I decided to have a breakfast bar instead and have 4 chairs there, because most of the time I probably won't have any more than 4 people, and if I do, I can just do like a roll out table thing or something like that if I do like Christmas dinners or something there. And I wanted a large sliding glass door. I wanted a door to access wood on the side of the house, so I could access wood right into my wood stove. Let's see if I forget anything else. I think that's good. We're gonna go towards upstairs. You saw the stairs that led upstairs. And so I wanted a possible 2-bedroom, because it's very possible if I go to sell it, or maybe later I want to build a 2nd bedroom there. I wanted it to be available to me to have a 2nd bedroom. So you go up the stairs, you'll have a possible 2nd bedroom, you have a bathroom. I was just gonna have the bathroom be roughed in. I wasn't actually gonna have the builder do anything. It was just gonna be a roughed in bathroom, so when I was ready, I will add a bathroom. And an open area for reading and painting is what I was looking for too. I wanna be able to paint and have a little art studio there too. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but I wanted a cabin to be about 1,100 square feet. That's about the size of the cabin that I'm looking to build. I am very excited about this build, and I am going to do some more videos. Since this video is a little bit longer, I will do the next video for the cabin stuff will be a video on what the architect came to me with and what kind of design that she did. Wait until you see that video. That is going to be really exciting, because she was able to take all my ideas and design a cabin for me, and I think that she did a wonderful job in doing so and incorporating all of my thoughts in there. So that will be on the next cabin video. I have different kinds of videos on my channel. I have vlog type videos, I have gear review type videos, and I have now these cabin videos. I will always title these videos with the word cabin in it. So in case you didn't want to see the other ones, and you could just skip over those and just wait for the next cabin video. I want to thank you for joining. If this is something that you're interested in, you're looking to build a cabin, possibly in Colorado, this would be a really good journey for you to follow me, and I'm trying to give you as much of the inside of what I did and some of the mistakes that I've made that you're going to end up finding out a bit later. So thanks again for joining, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.